Lake here and welcome back to my channel. I live on the west coast of Australia with my hubby Greg and we homeschool our 4 kiddos. I have Will who's in grade 8, Em is in grade 4, Crew is in grade 2 and little Jackson is in pre-primary. And we have been homeschooling for 4 years here in the Lake House Homeschool. In today's video, I'm going to share with you all of the curriculum and things that we use to teach pre-primary. I have Jackson, who is nearly 5 years old, and well, by the time this video airs, he would have turned 5 years old, and he is in pre-primary. So here in Western Australia, pre-primary is the first compulsory school year, and it's when you first have to register your child for school. So last year he did what we call kindergarten, which you don't have to sign up for. And then pre-primary is the first year before going into grade 1. So kids in pre-primary are generally 5 and 6 years old. As I said, Jackson is 5. And so yeah, let's get into this video and let me show you what we are using this year for 2022 for teaching pre-primary with Jackson. So the main curriculum that I use to teach Jack, who is in pre-primary, is the letters and numbers series of workbooks from Gather Round Homeschool. And we are on to book number 2. We are halfway through it. For book number 2, it's on the farm. So I have done a flip through of the curriculum, I think, of the first book in this series. If you'd like to have a closer look at that, I will fly a card up the top and put a link in the description box down below so that you can go and have a closer look if you want. I haven't done an in-depth view of On the Farm, but you can get an idea from the other video about how it works. But basically, I have a teacher's guide that I read aloud from, and then he has a little notebook that he works on. And so I have the teacher's guide here that I have printed out, and then he has a workbook. This is book B. So the workbook was kind of split into 2 books because they would work out being quite thick when they were printed. So last year when he was in kindy, we worked on book 1 and half of book 2, and now we're going to work on book 2, and then he'll finish out with book 3 and book 4, and that's learning letters and numbers. And if we get through all of that, then we will start on the next program, which is called Ready to Read. But I'll leave a link in the description box for you to the actual Gather Round Homeschool website, so you can go and check out those resources for yourself. But for him, we are working on learning still letters and numbers. So what happens is I read aloud from the teacher's guide here, which, so this is talking about on the farm. So for example, this is talking about wheat. And so I'm reading to him information about wheat. And then I ask him some questions about what I have read, and he will answer those. And there's a Bible link here. And then we also watch videos. So the great thing about Gather Round Homeschool is they have extra resources on their website, and they have a bunch of videos that go with each lesson. So we can pop on to the videos and watch wheat being harvested and turned into bread, and things like that. So that's why I love this curriculum. It's not just learning the letters and numbers, it's throwing in the other learning areas as well. So in the unit study, in the book, they will cover science topics, and even some histories. They would do art, they would do Bible, and obviously your language and even maths. And so I absolutely love it. For an all-in-one curriculum for a pre-primary kid, this is really great. So that's the teacher's guide there that I read aloud from. And then this is his workbook here. So just show you a few pages. Okay, so for example, here's the scope and sequence here if you wanted to pause and have a look. So within, this one kind of unit, these are all the things that you're going to be looking at. Here's all the language arts and phonics things that will be touched on. Here's all the maths things, pre-writing skills, fine motor skills, the Bible topics they're going to look at. Here is art, social studies, and the science things. And so just really love that everything's in here. So we've already started. So there's only a couple of pages, probably 3 pages for each a day. So he'll do 3 pages a day. So this is just a little look at kind of what the activities are like. Really fun. Easy enough to do. In pre-primary, you're not doing too much book work. You know, there's still a lot of play that's happening, and puzzles and games and things like that. But this is just a couple of pages a day, which is really easy to handle. Oh, shoot fly. Living in Australia, having flies everywhere, I'm so sorry. There's a couple of pages a day, and if your child is a little bit more competent and wants to do more, you could definitely do 2 lessons in a day. So I know with Cruz, who's a bit older, doing the Ready to Read program, he does 2 lessons in a day, so he'll be doing double the pages, or you can just do 1. But that is what we're using for our main curriculum. We also use an online program called Reading Eggs, and we've used it for the last few years here in the Lake House Homeschool, and we really enjoy using it. It's an online program that is teaching children how to read, and they've also got a section on there as well which is called Math Seeds, which is maths skills as well. So Jackson is able to use this program independently, which is great. So he'll hop on and use this program while I'm teaching his older sister and brothers. And as I said, he can use it independently. It is really fun. He enjoys using it. So he's having fun, but he's learning skills at the same time. So we do this program as well as using the curriculum that we are using from Gather Round Homeschool. I do believe they have a free trial if you wanted to check it out yourself. So just head on over to the website and have a look. And then I have added in some other things. My older children are doing a oceans unit study at the moment, and so he listens to me read aloud about the ocean unit study and watches all the videos with us. And so he doesn't have a notebook yet. I haven't started him on a notebook to be with us. So I've just got him this cute little ocean sticker activity book, which I picked up from Kmart Australia a few years ago and we haven't used yet. And so I can just read a page with him, and then there's stickers to stick onto the book. So he'll really enjoy doing that. That's something fun for him to do, but also just getting some extra science in, and goes with the theme of what we are currently learning at the moment. I also have this book that we were using last year for kindy and we never finished it, so I think I'll keep using it today. It's just helping him with his fine motor skills and his writing. He is reluctant to pick up a pencil and write and gets tired fairly easily, and so we just do this like 1 page a day. They're really, really simple. Tracing is what we've been starting up, but what we're up to is actually looking at the letters, so it's almost like a handwriting book for his kind of level. And I just think I got this book from Big W Australia, and he loves it because there's stickers in the front. So as he completes a page, then we just get to pop a sticker for doing great work, and he actually really enjoys that. So this is kind of in lieu of a handwriting book. We're just going to use this one instead. Now, because we live in Australia and we're using an American curriculum, I do need to add in Australian history, and we use the History Now books in our house, and so I have got the foundation level of the History Now books. If you'd like a closer look at these books, I will fly a card up at the top and pop the link in the description box down below. I've actually done a flip through of several of these levels of these books if you wanted to have a closer look. But for foundation level, which is what Jack is in, which is pre-primary here in Western Australia, this is looking at personal and family histories, and this is aligned with the Australian curriculum. So it's kind of ticking off that box of, you know, are you covering Australian history? And it's like, yes, we are. This is what we're using. But these are really great. So at this level, they're looking the kind of all about me and all about my family and all about my house and where I live, my local area, and things like that. So these are just really fun activities. Basically, there's usually like kind of information that you can read aloud, and then answering questions that go along with that activity. Now, if he's not up to writing at this stage, especially at the beginning of the year, I know my Jack, he's not ready to actually write this himself, so I will just do the writing for him. I'll ask him the question, he'll tell me, and I can write his answer and then maybe get him to write it next to it, or I'm sure towards the end of the year he'll be filling this out himself. But just give you kind of a quick look, and it talks a little bit about the past as well. So they're old things and new things, past, present and future, which is really, really good. And so looking at your family, it's great photos and illustrations throughout the book. Here we go, looking at different people's stories who've come to Australia, looking at refugees, and here is the Australian history I was talking about. So they're starting to talk about Aboriginal stories and about art, music and dance. So yeah, we really enjoy those books, and fairly inexpensive as well. These are $20. I get mine for Teachers from Teachers online, so they're a great book. These are the books that we are using for our like health and physical education studies. I have done an in-depth video on these books, so I'll throw a card at the top for you and pop the video in the description box down below so that you can go have a look at these books closely for you, but these are really, really great. We use the God's Design for Sex series of books in our house, and they're excellent book. As you can see, they've won the Christian Book Award, and we're starting on book 1, which is for ages 3 to 5, and they've got a whole pile of books in the series, I think 5 or 6 for the different age groups, and they get, you know, age appropriate as your children get older. So for pre-primary, for Jack, who is going to be 5, this is the book that he starts on. It's The Story of Me, and it's basically learning all about where babies come from, and so that's a really great book that we will be using. We also use this book called I Said No, a kid guide to keeping private parts private. So it's just talking about his body, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, who are safe people that he can talk to, and things like that. So that's another really great book. And then we'll be using this one too, which is called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures Junior. And so this is just as a simple plan to protect young minds, living in an online world, them seeing things with their little eyes that may not be appropriate for them to see, and just talking about, you know, what to do if you happen to see something that's not right. This is a really great book to kind of help them through that process. So that's really good. Now, in terms of physical education, we haven't signed Jack up for any sport classes or anything like that. We just include all of our kind of everyday things that we do in that area. So he rides his bike, he goes and does swimming lessons. You can, here in Australia, as a homeschooler, you are eligible for the school swimming lessons. So you can sign up to do swimming lessons for free, and they will just pair you with a local school in your area at the local swimming pool, and you can go along with them and do your swimming lessons. So I will pop the link for, at least for the West Australian swimming lessons, in the description box down below. But I encourage you to find out about getting your child enrolled in swimming lessons. So he will do swimming lessons. As I said, he rides his bike. We go to the beach. He actually does learn how to snorkel, and we have a canoe that he uses. We go fishing. We visit the playground every week. We go bushwalking in the winter time. And so all that kind of stuff gets, you know, added into his physical education that he is doing. Art and technology. The arts is included in his little book that he's doing from Gather Round Homeschool, but I have added in some technology this year, and we're using the KiwiCo crates. And so he has a 3-month subscription, and this is box 1. And so you've probably seen KiwiCo used before. Basically, they will come in the mail, and it's just a little box of a little activity that he gets to put together working with me. So the activity in this box, for example, he is going to make this these little creatures and this cute little grabber to pick things up with. And so you're actually going to be building, you know, the mechanics of this. And in the box you get all of the things that you will need to complete that activity, which is the thing that I find so helpful. I'm not having to run around finding all of the bits and pieces, you know, to put these things together. It kind of all comes to your door, and he was so excited to receive his own package, and he can't wait to do to make this. So this is what we've added in, you know, for technologies, or for here in Australia it's called STEM or STEAM, and so we can't wait to do these. I also have this shelf set up in my homeschool room that is specially for Jackson. Now, we do use unit studies from Gather Round Homeschool here in the Lake House Homeschool. And what I usually do with this shelf is pop things on there that kind of go with the unit study that we're learning about. So at the moment, we're doing an oceans unit study. So up the top here, I've piled a whole heap of books, and Jackson can come and grab any of these things during the school day and play with them, read the books and things like that. So at the top we have just some seashells that we have that he can have access to. We have our feather collection. We've got lots of feathers from the playground, but also the beach. We've got pelican feathers and things like that. And then on the second shelf, have this wooden stack and rainbow that he can take down and build with. Seashells here that he can play with. There's kinetic sand in that one. We've got our nature tray here that he can play with that as well. On the bottom, I've put our collection of sea animals that he likes to take out and play with, and we've got these blocks that he has. This is room to grow, so as we're going to the beach and finding new treasures this term, we can bring them home and pop them in there. And then just our rock collection as well as on there. So each term, or even sometimes within a term, I will just change over what's on this shelf here. I'll pop puzzles on there for him to play with, and board games and card games, and just fun things for him to also play with as well, because we learn through play, and he loves to play. And so while I'm working with the older children, he can sit here and play with his younger brother, or even by himself, and use the things that are on there, or get any puzzles out that he wants to, and board games, and play those as well. And this is just stored in our cupboard. We I usually pop them all away because our homeschool room's in our lounge room, and so I like to have things kind of put away in cupboards so that when visitors come over, they can leave our homeschool stuff alone. But these are all the kind of things that we use with him. We've got a clock for telling time, alphabet bingo. This is another clock, you know, alphabet puzzles, and all sorts of things in there for him too. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope that you found that content helpful. If you have any questions at all, feel free to leave a comment in the comments box down below, and I will get back to you with an answer. Also, anywhere that I can link any of the curriculum and things that I've shown you, I will do that, and I will pop those links in the comments box down below. And I'll also include a link to my Instagram account if you'd like to follow me over there. And I'll also pop some links to other videos as well that you might find helpful in your homeschooling journey. I've got a great video if you're a first-time homeschooler about you know, tips to survive your first year in homeschooling. I've got planning videos, I've got reporting videos, I've got a homeschool room tour, all of the fun stuff. So make sure you check out those links in the description box down below. Again, thanks for watching my video today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.